So you will hear us a lot of times referred to the hilltop, just as you did in the main video. If you're new to San Antonio, you'll figure it out fast. If you're native to San Antonio, you will recognize that steeple, whether you're traveling north and south on 281, driving through Almost Park. And so that's one of the reasons why we refer to it as Life on the Hilltop. Our early childhood division begins at pre-K 3, which is 3-year-olds, and ends with the kindergarten experience, which is usually 5 or 6-year-olds. From there, they head down to elementary, that begins at 1st grade. Every day, and I think that this is one of the things that really makes us what we are, every day begins in chapel. And our early childhood chapel takes place upstairs in a very intimate, a very special place called the Chapel of the Christ Child. It's a warm environment, but you'll also see that the kids participate in the experience. They are acolytes. And even in these pictures, you can see 2 young guys helping us set up the backdrop for then what Miss Karen Erfrith is sharing, which was the Noah Ark story. So the stories even start in the classroom and extend into chapel, where kids really feel like they have an understanding of the story. You'll also see, as Mrs. Collins pointed out, we celebrate Hanukkah. We bring stories into the room. Here's another example of a wooden Noah's Ark being shared with the children. There's singing, there's movement, and it's also on Fridays, a special time that we come together as a whole community in the sanctuary, and that's a very coveted chapel buddy time where our pre-K 4 kinder students and 1st grade students share some really special fellowship time with their chapel buddies. One of the biggest things that we deal with when we're looking at the whole child, and especially at this age, is social and emotional development, getting along with others. Every day in our chapel experience, we recite these very words, which are called our St. Luke's Way. Some of our kids don't know how to articulate it at the beginning, but by week 3 or 4, they've got it. We also unpack that, though, in the classroom, because this is really the foundation that guides how we treat ourselves and how we treat others. And it's always referred to, and it's not uncommon for our parents to tell us, oh, you know, Brandon reminded me I was not operating in the St. Luke's way. So we know that it's getting there. Somehow this message is getting to the kids, and it really is the bedrock on how we interact with our classmates. Our classrooms are designed very intentionally with a lot of different educational needs in mind. For instance, you'll see that we still work on the floor and the carpet with a lot of younger kids. We can have a whole group teacher-directed experience. We can have a smaller pull-out group and desks. We even have an outdoor space called our terrace that is an extension of our classroom. Lots of one-on-one, which can happen due to our teacher-student ratio. And then desks. And as the kids progress from pre-K 3 to kinder, of course, there's more of a balance of desk time than there is floor time. But in each of those 3 levels, there's plenty of time on the floor, plenty of time on the terrace to spread out and to move. There's also, you'll find in every classroom in early childhood, a real established routine, structure, and predictability. Every room is always going to have the schedule for the day, somewhere where the children can see or can relate the symbol to what class comes next. We always review our classroom constitution, or which is our ground rules that the kids have helped design themselves. And then we also work on specific different emotional or social things as a group, whether it be listening and responding the first time, or no more blurtitis, which means we're working on raising our hands and not just interrupting. So many different things there. And then you'll also see on the far side of the screen where each child has a job. That's very important to their experience in the classroom. It also really helps build that confidence and leadership. So you may be the line leader, you may be the maitre d', you may be the electrical engineer that turns lights on and off, you may be the supply manager, you might be the gardener, you might be the classroom medic, which is very important if we have kids that need to be carried to the, whoa, where'd I go? There I am. Which carried to the medic, all those different kind of things, and they rotate each week. All of these three major components plus our classroom calendar are daily repeated in our classroom because it does establish that predictability and that routine that young kids thrive on, and we know that they do. So they always know what the next step is. Lots of motor skill work, not only in PE, and Coach Burton is very specific about large motor skills that he's working on developing, but as we anticipate writing and written communication, there's a lot of fine motor activities that go on. You'll see us do things like, hammer golf tees in pumpkins or in styrofoams. Here's a student learning how to use a fork and knife to cut his enchiladas with Play-Doh. Lots of tweezer work, even letter formation in Play-Doh, all a variety of multisensory approaches. But again, getting the development of those muscles that's so important then to lead us into really formal handwriting. So in pre-K3 and pre-K4, our language arts experience is really based in a program called Handwriting Without Tears. Have you heard of it? If you have, let me know. The most interesting thing outside of the fact that it is truly successful is if you dive into the background of this program, it was actually created, it was actually created by a mom that was a physical therapist herself and having trouble with her second grade son who really did not like to write. And so she developed this system. And as you can see, it's based off of manipulative blocks. There's a small workshop, crayons appropriate to size of hand needs. We work in Play-Doh. There's also a fabulous app. And so for those that are really rewarded by the screen, we can use that as well. In kindergarten, that changes, and we use a very unique program, Spalding, also known as Writing Road to Reading. Spalding's been a program that has been around since the 40s. The whole idea was based off of brain-based research that students can learn how to read, write, and spell at the same time without compartmentalizing them. So we see a teacher giving an oral phonogram review. We see a student at the very beginning learning how to form a phonogram on a clock face card. You'll also see the teacher at the top using a document camera to model appropriate hand grip, pencil grip, and also letter formation. And then it moves into what our student at the top is doing in a pink notebook, where in February, we can actually dictate words to the students and they can spell them. And I think the bottom corner shows a great example, unprompted, the instruction being, what would you have your dream for? I was in January, excuse me, for Dr. Martin Luther King. And you know, for a kindergartner, phonetically, that's pretty good. Letter size, it's pretty good. It does an amazing job. In math, we're all about the Singapore math. It's just been proven it just really establishes a number formation, number sense with kids. It dives into graphing, shapes, cooking, measurement, patterns, as well as deep understanding of numbers 0 through 100. It's a very hands-on interactive program too, which makes it very appealing for the children. And one of the things that we really highlight here at St. Luke's is our desire to help our children become confident in public speaking. 1st through 8th grade, this is called declamations, but it starts in kindergarten with our signature event, Hall of Presidents. So in January and February, students learn all about America, about our symbols, about the leaders in our country. They actually lay down on a piece of butcher paper. We trace their bodies. It kind of looks like a scene out of CSI for a while. And then they wrap those bodies back up. They draw the name of a president and at home do a little bit of basic research on some fun facts about this president. Now, these are very developmentally appropriate facts. How, one president had an alligator for a pet, or, who lived in the White House with the most children, things like that. Then they decorate their president. They memorize their facts. And as you can see here, our presidents are displayed all over our gym. And people come up and the kids recite their facts and tell the kids what they've learned about their president. And it's a really very exciting day, very exciting day. We also have art, music, PE, and Spanish. Usually the kids go to designated rooms. We have a designated art studio. Our art teacher is a trained art teacher. For this year, to be COVID safe, we've had our Spanish, our art, and our music come into the classroom. We have been able to use the gym, but in different years, we're going to the rooms for pull-out specials. Enrichment starts for pre-K3 and pre-K4 at the end of their academic day at 12:30. All kids have lunch on campus, including pre-K3, pre-K4 that usually eat family style. Enrichment can be everything from yoga to ballet to young Einstein scientists to brick spots and beakers, all different kinds of things. For your kinder through 8th grade, enrichment starts at 3:30 at the end of their day. It's about discovery with the young kids. Everything is magical, whether it's watching the incubator, waiting for our baby chicks to hatch, which we have been nursing for 21 days, whether it's dissecting a seed and finding the baby seed and learning a word like cotyledon in a seed dissection, whether it's tactile discovery through a bin, or whether it's using our eyes to focus on something new and different. Here we go. Nope, there we go. There we go. Or discovering that you really can do something. Like this one girl's smile shows behind her mask. Very, very hard visual experience, Venn diagrams, and she had struggled with that, but you see on her face when she was successful. Discovering friendships, discovering if we actually plant our garden and water it, we will produce. Look at those radishes this year. Huge radishes that we harvested from our garden. Building in the leadership, whether it's through our Big Brother, our Big Brother program, whether it's through our 4-year-old setting the table, delivering meals, and explaining to kids how we eat together and use our table manners. We celebrate everything. We celebrate our moms with the Mom's Day tea. We celebrate International Dot Day. We celebrate the losing of our very first tooth. We celebrate all animals at Blessing of the Pets. We celebrate the day when we finally have our first chick hatch in our incubator. We celebrate birthdays with birthday snacks and special birthday blessings inside of chapel. We celebrate shoe tying and that we have learned how to tie our shoes. We celebrate the school and our teachers through pep rallies and athletic events, and we celebrate newfound friendships. So there's a lot going on at the Hilltop, and it's all really great stuff. And you have to feel it to experience it, but it's a place like no other.